Okay, come on, baby. Yes. Welcome to the Nurse Mark and the Green Nurse Daily Dose of AFA, everybody.
Where we bring you hope and inspiration for growth and healing so you can start your day off the AFA way. And I hate to tell you, but you need to be reminded, because I know too. I need to be reminded every single day. And you know how lucky I am that he wrote a book? Him, right there. I'm pointing right at him. Nurse Mark. AFA.
Oh, yeah.
Rise and shine.
Yes.
It's AFA
Rise and shine
time.
Monday morning.
Monday sativa.
Here we go. Monday sativa. Fired up, ready to go.
Totally fired up. Good morning.
Monday.
I know.
June 21st, 2021. Oh, you just got the green dot, didn't you?
I didn't get the green dot.
Every time I see your video go flash like that, you are in the green dot land.
Can I tell you, I'm really lucky. So you just may have noticed it on your end because it didn't happen here yet.
Okay, good.
So you never know. But listen, I want to start off. This morning by saying Happy Father's Day to you, Nurse Mark. And I hope you had a wonderful weekend.
I
did. Good.
It was great. Yep. Yep. Nice and relaxed. Good morning, Jack. Yeah. So it was good. It was good, Sherry.
Nice. Good.
Got to have 4 generations of the family all hanging out together on Saturday night. So it was
I know. Isn't that fun?
It was
really
fun.
Incredible out there.
Oh yeah. So here we are.
What are we bringing you today, everybody? What are we bringing you today? We bring hope and inspiration for growth and healing, right?
Every day.
With decreasing stigma around what it means to feel good and be high. And it's not high in the sense of being impaired. It's about living a AFA life, an absolutely fucking amazing life, realizing that at your core, you are a divine expression of creative love. We are here in this human meat suit to express, right? To express all that we are, to learn, to grow, to walk each other home, right? And oftentimes life throws us loops. Nurse Mark and I, we've been on the other side of the bed. Not only are we nurses, holistic cannabis nurses, but we've also been on the other side as patients. And so that is why we're here today. We are here today on Motivational Monday, to talk about what motivates us as cannabis nurses. But before we get into that, Nurse Mark has so much love to share. He has the daily love. And I love it. It's great. It's just a really good reminder, a really great way to wake up, in the morning, and just to kind of change your perception, to settle in, to ground in, to listen to the knowledge and wisdom of those that have come before us and who have grown and thrived through difficult times, the resilience, the grit, the courage, the bravery. And so these are words just to remind you, just a little hug and a nug, right? A little hug and a nug.
Oh yeah. And what a great way to start off this week.
Yeah. I love it because I have no idea what you're going to talk about, which I think is really fun because, oftentimes in the morning I'll meditate. Okay, good. I'm ready.
Yeah. You're definitely going to like this one. So this one is from the Daily Word and it's called Joy. What a great way to start off a week.
Yes.
And the day today. So it starts off, I have joy in my heart today. I let these lyrics sing in my soul. I've got the joy down in my heart. With or without the melody, this is a powerful affirmation reminding me that my joy is inherent. Singing aloud or softly to myself puts a spring in my step and a twinkle in my eyes. Joy is a part of my divine essence and not dependent upon other things that can fluctuate and fade. Because joy is my natural state, I need only to free it in order to feel it. Even in the midst of an undesirable situation, I can open myself to joy. I focus on my blessings and on the divine love and life within. As I am lifted up, I feel the joy that comes from trusting spirit. I am calm, peaceful, and joyous deep down in my heart.
I love that.
The joy.
And Mark, what's so powerful about that too? And I can just give an example because, a lot of times, we don't want to over positively, we want people to understand about the pendulum, right? So, you have polarity. And so when Mark, like you said, when we're in these difficult situations, can we find the joy in it? And oftentimes people will say like, no, I can't, so here's a really cool tool. Cause I remember when someone told me about this whole concept, the joy is in the journey. And I go, you know what joy is in this fucking journey while I'm suffering, right? I'm suffering and pain. So here it is, right? So find one thing in that moment that you're not feeling joy, to focus on something different that can bring you that joy. So here's an example. All these little rough patches that I've had along my life, as I got older, being able to process the emotion around it, I'm like, I am on a journey. Wow. The joy is in the journey. So I made up this little song. It's just a little corny cheeseball song that when I'm feeling I'm on this journey and things are thrown, I call them shit pies. I batter up and I'm like, whoa, gonna just, right out of the field, instead of taking it in the face. The joy is in the journey. The joy is in the journey, right? And you just kind of say that over and over. It's like a little mantra. Even if you don't feel it, you're just it's going to shift a little bit. And then you're going to hear how, I'm not going to lie. So I'm like feeling pissed off or angry or feeling, whatever those emotions are that don't feel good. And I start to sing that. And then I start to crack myself up because A, I don't believe it, but B, I'm doing it anyways. And C, what it ends up doing is it shifts. It always shifts. When I can get into the space of making fun of myself. Not taking myself so seriously.
All you're doing is just lighting a different circuit in your brain, right?
Right. Yes.
This one's no good. I don't like this one. Let's light this one. Oh, there's joy.
There we go.
The joy. Here it is.
And here it was. It was the joy of singing a ridiculous song to try to talk myself out of that horrible feeling that I was stuck in. Right. And
chose another path.
Just chose another path. And so how cool is that we have the capability of doing that? Right. It's not something that you have to go outside to get.
Nope.
It's going in. Right.
It's an inside job.
It's an inside job.
It is.
Joy, joy, joy. I love it.
Joy. So today you can be joyful. Why not?
Yeah, why not? Yeah. And the angels have a message for us all today.
Oh, good.
So you ready? So here it is. And it has to do with joy. Just think about when you are feeling joyful, you feel bliss. And when you're feeling bliss, you feel what? Peaceful. So the angels say, peace is stimulating and quite exciting when truly experienced and understood. Peace is stimulating and quite exciting. Peace is joyful, right? Because it brings you that blissful feeling. I love that.
Yes. What a way to start off. Hey, thanks for stopping by, everybody. Good to see you all here this morning. Happy Monday, June 21st. Damn, we're sliding into July already. Holy
no kidding. It's almost my birthday. July 20th, everybody. I accept cannabis gifts.
She takes all gifts. Send them all.
I take all gifts. Send them all my way. But anyways. I can't even. Oh my God. It is a celebration to celebrate another trip around the sun when I literally at one point in time didn't think I was going to make it past 50. Seriously. I thought my life was over, and thank God cannabis came into my life. Thank God there was a nurse in my life who reached out to me, who disclosed her cannabis use, those spiritual principles. Spirituality is the root of cannabis care. The nurse came, disclosed her cannabis use, came out of the closet with me, and basically told me to get with the program. She had that transpersonal nursing experience with me. She disclosed, Sherry, I've been using cannabis every day for 53 years. I was like, what? Right? And she just said, I'm not on any pharmaceuticals and I've never been hospitalized. She was a 70-year-old woman. Yeah. And so what did that really do? It brought me hope. So these stories that we share, these patients, patients that we take care of, people that we come in, this is why we do it. All these stories are coming up to show people that there is another way, decreasing the stigma around what it means to feel good, be high, and use plant medicine and other progressive tools. It's a shift of perception.
And that's what we're doing.
And that spirituality is the root of cannabis care. And the thing is that's interesting about that, we can even equate it. We can pull that down and break it down even further and talk about how it applies to the National Council State Boards of Nursing.
Here we go.
Right, Mark? Here we
Yes,
go. We're
we
getting
can,
into it.
Sherry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the NCSPN came out with these guidelines in 2018. We talk about them every Monday because this is huge. This is really, really big. This is the organization that sets up the national exam that every nurse has to take in order to qualify for a license. So, I mean, this is the test that we all have huge anxiety about at the end of nursing school. Because like here we are at the end of, 2 or 4 years of work, and we've got to pass this exam. If we don't, it was all wasted. So so these folks have come out and said, listen, you need to know as a nurse, you need to know what's going on in the world of cannabis, in the world of the endocannabinoid system, all of these things. So what do we focus on today?
I'm going to show you one thing. So this is really cool. I don't know if I have it in front of me right now. There's a book. Of course, I don't have it in front of me. But the National Council State Boards of Nursing, they put out a 64-page journal in the Journal of Nursing Regulations. It's like a thick magazine. And they identified 6 essential areas of knowledge for all cannabis nurses, advanced nurses, and nursing students. So we must have these 6 essential areas of knowledge. We've covered most of them, but the most important one, I think, is the one that we've been covering regularly. And the reason why we're covering it is because it is so prevalent even now. It is about decreasing stigma. The 6th NCSBN guideline states the nurse shall approach the patient without judgment regarding a patient's choice of treatment or preference in managing pain and other distressing symptoms. Right?
Yeah. In other words, let the patient live their own life.
Exactly. Yeah. What are we here to do? We're here to care for them, care for the entire human experience. We're going to hold your hand until you let go. You educate on these different modalities that all support and nourish the endocannabinoid system. Cannabis is one of them.
Right.
We need to allow people to have that information to make the choice that's in their best and highest interest for them. And oftentimes too, Mark, people will say, does this work? Does that work? Does this modality work? And I'm like, they all work and none of them work. You got to find out what works for you.
Depends on you.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Sherry. Yes. So
here's another cool thing, Mark, too. So, you think about in the traditional system, what do? As clinicians, we usually start off with disease, with symptoms, with body parts, the biology.
Yeah.
And then if we're lucky, we get
of the animal.
Yes, the whole body, the umbrella. But oftentimes we may miss mental and emotional health because we're so focused on the body parts.
Right.
And usually, do we ever really get to spiritual health and healing, or do we even address it? Not really.
Think about it, right? We start with the physiology because it's tangible. We can do a test.
Body.
We can say, oh, your ratios are up or down. Physically, we can see what's going on. Then you get to the next level with the mental. Well, that's more subjective. We have to kind of pull that out of the person, right?
Right.
And, we can do that. We're trained to do that, and we can assess how they're feeling mentally. Then we get to spiritual. That's when it's even one layer removed from something we can tangibly touch, right?
Yes.
You have to get in tune with that spirit. So, we always stick to the physical and hardly ever get moved on to the other things that are a little bit more esoteric.
Yes. And so if you think about nursing, and the essence of nursing is human caring, it's more than just the body. That's the whole point we're trying to make, right? Yeah. It's more than just the body. So the nurse shall approach the patient without judgment regarding their preferred treatment. So think about what judgment means. It means to make a decision or form an opinion. And our mind is a judging machine. It's either
automatic. You don't even need to do anything. That's the beauty. You don't need to do anything. You just need to show up, open your eyes and ears, get some input, and you'll judge like that. Yeah.
Exactly. And so just think about what non-judgment comes from spirit, right? Yeah. And so, when we care for patients, we need to remember we're caring for the whole entire human experience, bio, psycho, social, spiritual.
Yes.
All of it, right?
The essence of human caring, nursing. Yes, all together.
Right.
Love it. Yeah. All right. Last week, we introduced Gene Watson's theory on human caring. And we talked about how it incorporates 3 other theories, right? So Watson's human caring theory is based on humanistic psychology, number one, which calls for the person to look deeply within with the knowledge that self-awareness is a prerequisite for self-growth.
Yeah.
The second one, Eastern philosophy. She weaves in the Eastern philosophy, the spiritual principles of looking at the whole, not just the little pieces and parts. And then the last is transpersonal psychology, which is spiritual psychology. It's whole person psychology, connecting with spirit and transcending that self or ego. So what does Watson say about human caring theory and transpersonal nursing, Cher?
Well, good question. So Jean Watson describes a transpersonal nurse as one that has the ability to center consciousness and intention on caring, healing, and wholeness, rather than on disease, illness, and pathology. It focuses on helping patients achieve a more complete sense of harmony within their mind, body, and spirit, using caring interactions, right? So Jean Watson developed these 10 Caritas processes. I'm probably saying it wrong. I say it wrong every week. And we've been covering each of these, and we're going to give an example of what it looks like.
Whatever, however you want to say it. We get it.
Yeah. And we get it. Yeah.
Totally.
So what about the first three, Mark? I'll let you cover the first three. And we're going to go through the first three because there's 10 of them, just to give you all a little reminder. And then today we're going to cover the fourth process and give some examples.
So the first is practice loving kindness and compassion towards self and others when working with patients. Give yourself a break. We know you're a judging machine. You're going to find yourself in the middle of judging the shit out of somebody. It's what we do. It's just what we do. Give yourself a break. Damn it, you're human. It's okay. Right?
It is okay.
Passion and kindness towards yourself. And if I'm telling you, you start with yourself, it spills over into your interaction with the other person, right? That's when you give it away because you got it.
Yeah. Well, then that leads into the second one, right? So think about that. So if we're practicing loving kindness towards self, how do we do that? We remain authentically present, honoring our own inner life and that of others. So it's just a reminder that here we are, we have billions of people, right? You think about it. We all have our own inner life. I have no idea what's going on in Mark's world unless he tells me.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows. They all, we all guess that we form an opinion. We judge what the other person thinks, right? We never, ever know. And the beautiful part, I touch on this all the time, is that you are the person that you talk to the most your whole entire life. You have a conversation and a dialogue with yourself all day long, sometimes even while you're sleeping. You consistently and constantly talk to yourself. So why not have a great, loving, kind, compassionate relationship with yourself?
Yeah. Listen, I'm telling you, if you can give yourself a break.
Holy cow.
Yeah. Sensitive. Yeah. Remaining sensitive. So here's another one. So the third one, we're on the third, right? Remaining sensitive to self and others by cultivating our own spiritual practices to move beyond that ego self into higher levels of consciousness for healing. And that's where cannabis comes in really, really well too. So it's, cannabis allows me to go deep, and to get into a space where I can process emotion and access different areas of my brain that have been sleeping, right? So we know that cannabis increases neuroplasticity. It helps us to change perception. It helps us to look at things a little bit different.
Right.
So as we develop and cultivate our own spiritual practices, we can share those with our patients, right? To help them, give them guides and tools of all the different things that we're using, to move out of that space of feeling stuck, that hope. We want to continue to provide hope. We want to inspire people so they can grow and heal, So the fourth one, Mark, here we are. This is a good one. I like this one.
Developing and sustaining a helping, trusting, and authentic caring relationship. My gosh. So what does that look like, Sherry? You got to ask yourself some questions, right? What's the first one you should start with?
The very first one, when we work with patients, one of the things that we ask them is, what's important to you? How do you want to live your life?
Right.
And so that's a question I ask the patient. And then what I ask myself is this: how may I best serve this patient and where they're at in their journey? right? Where
Yeah.
are they at? I need to meet them,
Mhm.
because oftentimes what happens is they'll be in a space and, oh, I've got all the ideas of how to fix them. But if they're not buying into it, right? All I'm doing is yapping my mouth. So it's really like
Totally.
going in,
Yeah.
meeting them where they're at, asking
Mhm.
those critical questions, finding out where they are in their journey. And generally it's bringing them hope and helping them to decrease stigma around what it means
Yeah.
to use plant medicine.
Yep.
So really paying attention, listening, guiding, encouraging, and then just questioning, "Ooh, where did that thought come from?" You know what I mean? If you're plagued
Yep.
with stigma, or you don't feel like you should smoke, or you shouldn't use this oil, or whatever it is, when we're working with cannabis patients, remaining kind, compassionate, not buying into their story, gently guiding, directing, educating through love, kindness, compassion, and empathy. Right. So the empathy is, I've been there. I've been on the other side of the bed, plagued with stigma. That cognitive dissonance that we actually experience, all of us. Right. So it's just reminding them that we've been there too at
Mhm.
some point in time in our life, and just remaining authentic to ourselves,
Mhm.
being present with the patient, meeting them where they are. Here's another cool question, Mark, and I'm sure that you
Yeah.
can relate with this. And this is
Yeah.
interesting too. Really good question
Mhm.
to ask ourselves, when we're working with patients is,
Yep.
can I care for this patient as I would a loved one? Right? That's another
Well, that's
good one.
a thorny one, Cher.
I
Sometimes your
know.
loved ones piss you off. You're like, I could
Mhm.
care for a friend better than I could care for you. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I
I'm
know.
kidding. I'm
I know.
kidding. I'm being
No, but it's
facetious.
it's
Could you
no, but that's
care
okay
for the
though. But that's
patient as you would
okay.
a loved one?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, it is. That's a loaded question, but generally, when we are connected by family,
we are.
friends,
Yep.
love, and then you have a patient that may come in and just, push all of your buttons. Can
Mhm.
you have that kindness and compassion with another person that's scared? Oftentimes our family members are scared. You think about, right? Think about it. When
Yeah.
people are reacting,
Mhm.
where is it coming from? It's coming from a place of fear,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Place of fear. So
Totally.
how,
Coming from fear.
so yeah, right.
And then the next one, can you care for this patient as if it were yourself?
Right. So that's a really, really important question to ask, because how
Yeah.
are you taking care of yourself? Right.
Right.
So it's like walking the talk.
Mhm.
If we are here in a space where we're teaching about the endocannabinoid system and all the different tools
Mhm.
that it needs to function optimally, how are we doing that in our lives?
Right.
Right. So it's a good
Right.
question to ask. We want to be a power of example,
Oh, hell yeah.
power of example of the mind, body, and spirit.
And then the next one, Sherry, how can my authentic self come forth without ego or attachment?
I'll tell
Yeah,
you, that's a tough one, because I
that's a
want,
toughie.
it's
Yeah.
tough, because I can automatically go, if you do this, 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 and this, you're going to be perfectly fine. Right. That's
Yeah.
ego. that's,
Yeah.
that's my ego. And that's my
If
attachment to
you
an
do it
outcome.
my way,
You do it my
right
way.
way.
Right.
It's
Exactly.
just one way.
It's
It's not
one way.
right,
So
wrong. It's
not
just one way.
one way.
Another way
Exactly.
in many ways. Yeah.
Another way in many
Yep.
ways. So yes. So spirituality is the root of cannabis care.
Yep.
Human caring is the essence of nursing,
Yep.
and it is about caring for the entire human experience,
Right.
teaching
Right.
on the endocannabinoid system, bio, psychosocial, spiritual, how the
Mhm.
plant works on our
Yeah.
entire body, that little
Yeah.
umbrella there, and how we can help patients reach those new levels of wellness
Mhm.
through education and
Right.
choice.
Right.
Mm.
Any examples and
I think we just gave a
that you
bunch
can
of
think
them.
of?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think okay, I can give my mother example. My mother's a good example,
Yep.
and of what it might look like. So for the new people that are watching, my mother was plagued with stigma when it came to
Mhm.
cannabis as medicine. She judged me horribly,
Mhm.
wrote
Mhm.
me out of her well, blocked me on Facebook. That was that cognitive dissonance. It didn't matter what I presented to her when it came to the science. She was still firmly believed that it was bad. Okay. All the science in the world. So I had to meet her where she was at. How did I do that as a nurse, as her daughter? And as a potential, I wanted to help her. I needed to pull back. My authentic self said this plant is saving my life. I just need to meet her where she's at.
Yeah.
Just let it go, not argue, not fight, not try to convince, right? Think about it. The more convincing I tried to do with her, the more pissed off she got.
Totally.
So I had to meet her where she was at. How I met her where she was at is I let her be where she was. And I continued to take care of myself and to demonstrate how this plant worked in my life to bring me healing. Granted, everyone thinks, you have to be high to feel good. But the highness that we're talking about is a little bit different. It's a sense of well-being. It's not about being impaired. Having that sense of well-being. So she associated me feeling good with being fucked up all the time. You know what I mean? So I'm like, no, that's not what it's about. My body was completely, my umbrella was falling apart. I introduced this plant into my life and all the other tools that nourish the endocannabinoid system. What happened? The umbrella started to repair itself. Was able to come off of medications. And so that's a clear example. And then over time, right? 6 months it took, and then stories. That's why we share these stories. Met my mom where she's at, continued to take care of myself, remained authentic, remained kind and compassionate to her dissonance. And then over time, as she started to learn and get educated and heard a nun speak about cannabis and how it changed her life, it was like a light switch. It was like something lit up in her brain. This is a nun. My mom's Catholic, strict Christian. And then the nun story came in and changed her perception. And then the next step of working with her was working with what product can she use first that makes her feel the safest. It wasn't what I wanted her on, but it's not about me. I needed to bring it back to her.
It's not the one that you knew would definitively help her in that situation, right? But you had to get her started somewhere.
Had to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's what we do.
It really is just about meeting the patient where they're at and honoring what they want in the situation. And the example that I can give is, in nursing school, I was doing a med surg rotation, and I was taking care of a 94-year-old guy. We'll call him Bob. And so Bob had come in, he had stomach cancer. He'd had cancer for a while and been married for like 60 plus years to the same girl. It was just, it was, they were high school sweethearts or even before that. Anyway, 94 years old, he turned to me and he said, "Mark, I'm not leaving the hospital this time." I said, "Bob, what are you talking about? You look good. You got energy. You're eating." He's having trouble eating, and you're eating, and things are looking good. He says, "Nah, I'm done. I'm done.
Aww.
I can't golf anymore. I can't do the things that I really like to do." And he said, "The only thing I worry about is my wife. What's she gonna like? I'm ready to go, but what's she gonna do? Like we've been side by side for 65 years. I do a lot. She does a lot. Like we're in this together. That's what I worry about." So I spent, the next few days just supporting him in what he wanted to have happen.
Yeah. And, just being present.
I could say, "Oh no," everybody else was saying, no, you can't give up. You can't give up. No, you have to continue on. You have to do. I just honored where he was at with that. And just assisted him in whatever way that I could to allow him to live out whatever he wanted to have those last few days be.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so beautiful. That's like such a gift because you weren't trying to talk him out of his position.
No, everybody else was trying to talk him out of it. I just sat there, when he said he wanted, I just sat there.
You gave him permission. You gave him permission
for an hour, which you don't get to do as a nurse. As a nursing student, I could, but as a nurse, you don't get that time. But I sat for an hour and listened to his life story, and it was amazing. And he shared so many things about his personal life and his kids.
You know what you did? You did legacy work with him.
That's it.
At the end of life, the legacy work, you think about it. At the end of life, people need a different type of nursing care. Right. Seriously, it's about keeping them comfortable physically, But mostly it's about jumping right ahead to spiritual. They need spiritual care at the end of life, right?
Yeah.
So the more that you can tap into your own spiritual healing, the easier it is going to be for you, to sit with someone else.
Magic
That's
moment.
beautiful.
I mean, Bob was just a part of my life for a 3-day span of time. He's here now, right? He's still alive. He's right here, right now with us because we're talking about his experience. Yeah.
Yes, that's really cool. Really good stuff.
Yeah.
So, and because we care about all of your spirits, we're now part of the Green Nurse Holistic Caring community, right? So,
expansion
Nurse Mark, expansion is a good thing. Mark and I were building our own anyways, but like, you know what? East meets West. Let's join forces with Holistic Caring community. And so they have an amazing community of like-minded individuals, whether it be nurses, health professionals, coaches, patients, people from all over the world who are coming together in a community. It made sense to me because I was thinking I've been getting censored a lot on some of my social media educational platforms that I've been educating on. And basically, I'm like, what would happen if all of this went away? What would happen if they took down everything that I created? You know what I mean? Like literally, this is my passion. This is my love. My mission on this earth is to decrease suffering and improve quality of life, teaching on the endocannabinoid system and progressive therapies. What if it all went away?
Right.
That got me thinking. I'm like, I don't want it to go away. So this community, we want you all to join us. The Green Nurse Holistic community, like I said, there's a lot of different things that are going on. We're putting our videos up there. There's webinars, and there's actually a free class. So if you look down below, the Holistic Caring community with the Green Nurses is offering, a free education.
Way down at the bottom.
Way down at the bottom. I think it's the first or second one. There's one link to join the community, and then there's a second link to take the free course. I think that's really cool. And really grateful that we're
really cool.
Yeah, really cool.
Hell yeah. Come on in.
Come into the community. And the part that's so cool too, Nurse Mark, is we're interviewing Elizabeth Mack on Wednesday night, and she's going to share, right? You think about all the parallel journeys we've been on. You've been on your journey with cannabis. I've been on mine, all the different nurses and how we're all coming together.
What a journey it's been.
Yeah, we're all coming together to, heal. Provide solutions.
It ain't over yet, Cherry.
It's not over yet. And that's what we do as nurses. So think about it. We're problem solvers. We figure out what people want and need, and we bring it to them. And this is a great community. So a great community for you all to get your needs met, uncensored, uncensored. So good stuff. So what else do we got going on?
At the end, baby. What do we got going on? Well, 5 days a week, it's you and I at 8 a.m. For our morning daily dose of AFA. We hang out. All of you guys are here.
Thank you for coming, everyone.
Alvaro, welcome. Everybody, thanks for stopping by. So good to see you this morning. Happy Monday, June 21st. Sherry, like you said, we got Elizabeth Mack, and then, of course, 9 a.m. on Fridays, Frequency Friday. Yeah. But seriously,
and then we got something special going on the weekend too. Special going on the weekend. Green Nurse on the Go. So I'm going to plug Janet McAllister, Cannication, Hippie Chicks Natural Solutions. So Green Nurse Denise and I are going on a canna vacation this weekend. Excellent. And it's the first time I've ever done this, where it's a Airbnb, where it actually everything is included. So customized infused meals, whether you want CBD, THC, or a combination. All the cannabis, they have a cannabis bar. So it's a special room that has specific ventilation in it. So it's really going to be a cannabis vacation up on a lake up in Dexter, Maine. And we're going to go live, and we're going to Yeah, I've never done, I've done my own little cannabis vacations, but this is going to be really kind of cool because this is the new and upcoming thing. You see these things popping up all over the place, retreats, cannabis vacations, Airbnbs that allow cannabis. So this is going to be my first time, and I'm really, really excited to report back because we are going to be doing more events, and some of the events that we want to do, we want to take people out into
And we're
nature.
lining up some speaking events now that, we're opening up a
Oh, I
little
know.
bit. We may have something coming up in August in upstate New York, right? Like a 3-day weekend, a hemp festival. Yeah, fun stuff.
Sleeping in a hemp tent.
Hemp tent. So,
A hemp
hey,
tent.
Cher, thanks for kicking it up this morning. And
It was a
guys,
sunrise
thanks for
sativa
being
this
here. We
morning.
love you all. And remember, start with yourself. Give yourself a little bit of love. Give yourself a little bit of room to be human. It's okay. Don't stress about it. It's all good. And
Joys in
you
the
can have an
journey.
AFA day. Like right now, you can start. I know I am. It's already in the works. It's here now, Sherry. And I always have to hear you say this because I need to be reminded. What is it all about again?
It is all about living your best life, helping others do the same, and decreasing stigma around what it means to feel good. We all deserve to feel good. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Thanks,
See you
everybody. Love you
tomorrow.
guys.